How's it going? Charles Botenston here. We're in the office, and today met with Mark. Nice little shout out. But I was I just came back from a for sale by owner, someone that's putting their home on the market, and they're trying to sell it themselves, the owner, without a broker. And I was talking with them, and it's one of the things that you have to make a phone call, and she didn't call me back. I left 3 voicemails on 3 different days, the fear and blah, blah, blah of rejection. And it's just a phone call. It's just a feeling that rejection is a feeling that you put on yourself, feeling that should be the appropriate feeling for the situation. Okay, let me break that down. So that means that you call someone for business, they say no, and we put a meaning of rejection, and then we also say, because I was rejected, I should feel this way. How about you celebrate rejection? There's a book out there that says Go for No. Highly recommend it. It's only about 120 pages. It's called Go for No. And the story gets better. So I'm coming up the elevator, and there's a guy in the elevator with me. It's a really nice building that I work in, and he's dressed in jeans, sneakers, a regular jacket, nothing, just like a regular coat, I should say, and, Levi jeans or whatever, and he's staring at me, and I'm like, it's just us two are in the elevator, and I look over, he's around the same age, you could tell, just health-wise, his hair's kind of receding and whatnot. And I was like, oh, what's going on? We started talking a little bit, and he's like, well, my day, thank God it's almost Friday, the weekend's coming up, I got my girlfriend, he starts going into it, and then, he gets off on his floor, oh, have a good day, and everything else. And on the way up to my floor, I really started to think, what is the difference between him and I? What is the difference between him and I, like mindset-wise? Because your mindset actually, it originates in your mind, and then it is created in person. In other words, the clothes you wear, what you eat, if you go to the gym, your business, you call for business. And I really broke it down to really 3 pieces, 3 areas. One of them is the difference in life between someone that is quote unquote successful or has money or blah, blah, blah. And I'm not saying me, I'm looking at wealthy people, and I say, and every time you hear them, and someone asks them about fear, they're like, oh, I just did it anyway. And there's a great book called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway by Dr. Susan Jeffers. Unbelievable book. Feel the fear and do it anyway. You feel the fear, like everyone does, but some people recede, they retract, and they don't move forward. And then the people that are successful move forward, make the call anyway. Make the call anyway. So what I really thought about on the way up to my floor was, what's the difference? Fear is how you handle fear. I guarantee there's things that he wants to be doing in his life, whether it's a relationship, whether it's money, whether it's his physical health, but there's fear holding him back, and fear holding me back on certain things I want to do, and fear holding you back on certain things you want to do, whether that's start your own business, approach that pretty girl, ask that guy out, ask for a raise, start a project, get into volunteering, whatever the case is. Start teaching at the gym as a cycling instructor like myself. That's something that I'm going to be doing this year. Fear, and the second thing is handling your emotions. So in other words, I was calling all this week for sale by owners, and I had a lot of hang-ups. I had a lot of people not saying the nicest things to me. But you know what? As John Paul, the guy that started Paul Mitchell Hair Products, he's a multi-billionaire. He also started that tequila company. He said, you have to be as enthusiastic on, he said door, because he did door-to-door, but door or call or in-person interview. You have to be as energetic, enthusiastic on door or call 30 as you are on number 1. And I was like, oh, that's good information, of course. But it's true, is that when you have the headset on and you're talking, and they say, you know what, I don't need you, screw off, don't ever call me again, lose my number, I hope you die and you burn in hell. And you're like, okay. And then you put your headset down, the next call you have to be as enthusiastic, because that's a completely different person and a potential for business. So how do you handle fear? Do you walk into fear? Number 2 is, how do you handle your emotions? So when rejection happens, do you feel bad? Do you feel good? Do you celebrate, like in Feel the Fear or in Just Say No? How do you handle the fear? Actually, the three people, I was waiting for someone to hang up on me. Finally, someone hung up on me. I laughed. I was like, thank God. I high-fived one of my agents. I was like, dude, that's awesome. I finally got it. Next person, they hung up. I started laughing. Other people have different reactions. Like, why does rejection have to, there's another guy, Greg Harrelson. He's a top agent down in South Carolina, and he says he likes rejection because he knows it's really, really close to a yes. In other words, he's worked out the numbers that every 150 contacts, he gets a big listing. Like a big listing, I'm assuming 2-3 million. But, he's listing other properties before them, but he knows all those no's are leading up to a yes. And that's how I'm really looking at it now that I'm actually doing the calls. And the third one, which is most important, is you have to grow. Like, this is an amazing concept. I was just watching Mel Robbins, and at Mel Robbins, she wrote Stop Saying You're Fine, which is an amazing book. You have to check out her book. So that's 3 incredible books. If you read those 3 books this year, your life will be totally different. Totally different. I cannot stress growth. The reason I am the way I am, I sucked at school. I almost failed out of high school. I almost failed out of college. I was being told you're not gonna succeed. I had a 81.9 average in high school and a 2.9 in college. Okay? And then you hear all these other stories. Why? Because they moved into fear. They controlled their emotions. And that could be good emotions, bad emotions. Don't sit on your wins for too long. Keep moving forward. Have the momentum. In the third one, which I just mentioned, you have to grow. You have to learn. Mel Robbins said that a study just came out that up until 10 years ago, they thought your brain grows and then it stops. And that's it. But what's amazing is that your brain continues to grow. And guess when it stops? When you die. So the best thing you can do is create. You create, whether that's a blog post, whether that's painting or learning or reading. That's the only way. Crossword puzzles, whatever. Watching TV is not creating. That's consuming. Anything that you consume. Yes, reading is consuming, but you're actively doing it. Anything that you're passively, like a movie or a sports game or anything, is passively being consumed, and it's not doing me any good. Any TV that I'm watching these days is all scripted, is not. So those are the 3 things. You have to walk into fear. And this is the difference between someone that's myself and someone that's really, really successful. Someone that, like yourself and whatever you want to get into, how they handle their fear, how they handle their emotions, and do they grow? So think of those 3 things. And that was literally, and the reason I actually came up with that is from the elevator, which he got off at 40 and I'm on 43. Between those 3 floors, I thought of that. I was pretty proud of myself. I'm like, wow, that's amazing. What's the difference between him and I? Someone that's wearing a suit, that's happy, that's joyous, that's ready for an activity tonight, and him who's like, well, I can't wait for Friday and the weekend and blah, blah, blah. Come on, dude, you're young. You're vibrant. What are you doing? Anyway, I hope this helps on whatever you want to use it for. Leave a comment, leave a question on what you struggle with the most. For me, I'm really good at growing. That's my number 1. Growing and improving and learning is my number 1. Number 2 is controlling my emotions. I'm really good at this. I was never good at this. I would always I had a really bad temper back in the day. The third one is fear, which I'm moving into. And that's my third one, and I'm going to want to move that to the top because that's taking action. Anyway, which one do you struggle and which one is your best one? And if you have any comments, leave it in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel. I come out with a video now it's coming out almost every day. Talk to you guys soon.